pleasant day.
Okay, thank you, Prof. Okay, for officially launching the Business Management Symposium 2025. Okay, now we will proceed to our first session. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, let us begin the first session. Okay, so it is my pleasure to introduce our first speaker, Encik Helmi Muhammad Noor, a senior data-driven management consultant with the Analytics Services Unit at Credence. He specialized in data analytics, business intelligence, and management consulting, helping organizations make better decisions through data. Encik Helmi has worked on major analytic initiatives for a range of organizations, including the GLC, Highway Operator, the Tourism Ministry, and Government Television Broadcasting, where he led teams providing business intelligence and social media analytics to support strategic decision making. He also holds several professional certification in Microsoft technologies, okay, big data, artificial intelligence, and data visualization, reflecting his commitment to staying current in a rapidly evolving digital landscape. Okay, with that, okay, let us warmly welcome Encik Helmi Muhammad Noor to share his insight on smarter workplace, AI, and the future of people management. Okay, so Encik Helmi, okay, the virtual stage is yours.
Thank you very much. Dr. Abdul Kadir, Prof. Agileswari, Dr. Nasharuddin, and all the, all the patrons or the people that is in this forum today. So, as again, my name, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Helmi bin Muhammad Noor. I'm, as introduced, is the data-driven management consultant from Credence. Credence is actually the brand name for Telecom Malaysia Digital Innovation. So I'm Telecom Malaysia, what we call it, staff. So basically, I do go around nation. I just came back from JB actually last night. So I was talking to the CEO of tourism board there. Also talking about what we are discussing today. So without further ado, I'll just continue in respect of time. So we'll go through the session today. And as again, before I proceed, thank you very much for Uniten for inviting me for sharing some insights and some what are the industries point of view where it comes to smarter workplace, AI, and future of people management. Okay. I'm having three screens here, so basically, I'll be if you can see me going left and right, my eyes. So you can just straight away chat with me, and I will be able to answer and collect all the feeds and answer it all ago at the end of the session. Okay, as again, who am I? Helmi Muhammad Noor. 25 years experience across government and enterprise sectors. As introduced, I did multiple projects with GLCs and government sectors, also enterprise. So I'm so-called really what we call it. I'm into analytics, deep, and where I go into data is my passion, right? And I'm an expert in organizational intelligence. So my focus is on human-centered AI for Malaysia public and enterprise sectors. My passion is helping organization move data from data rich to decision intelligence. So that's the a brief of who I am. Okay. Workplaces are changing faster than ever. AI is no longer the future, it's the present. But people are still the core, and AI needs human direction. So AI is just enabler or where it can hand if we look we in the 1980s and 1990 I think there's this bionic man, bionic woman, right? So it's a mechanic that can make us work faster, lift more workloads, at a very fast and what we call it shorter time. Saying that, right, it's not gonna solve all the problem because it still depends on who's driving the AI. If the prompt, the way how we manage the AI is not efficient, so basically it still can be rubbish in and rubbish out. So basically it's like an analogy, right? You're having a microwave, and that microwave is expected to cook faster, but it wouldn't be a magical microwave when if data which is being fed into it is not the correct data or not the accurate data or not clean data, right? You will get rubbish out. So that's a analogy of this, but it will be fast to cook and yeah, it will enhance what is wrong even bigger and and wider. So this is the thing that don't misconstrue that AI will solve it. It will enhance what we're gonna do and how we're doing things in the workplace, but it won't solve everything. We still need the human what we call human interaction and human facets in the delivery. So as again here, there's AI transformation, evolving expectation. This is what we're going to be discussing today. Information overload. There's a lot of data, there's a lot of dashboards coming up, but yet still decision is hard to be made. So this is where I'm going to be touching why decision is still a problem being made, even though regardless with all the dashboard that has been displayed in front of the C levels and the people who are making the decision. So this is another thing that I'm going to be discussing in the symposium or the topic that I'm going to be touching today. And lastly, I mean the most important part that I'm going to be discussing is that the clarity imperative. Modern leaders. Oh, okay. Was that me just hearing it or something just came out? Okay, okay. Clarity imperative. What leaders need is clear direction, not dashboards, not multi what we call it information displayed gladly on gladly TV screens, right? What they need is direction and clarity in how to navigate this overwhelming complexity of data is everywhere. Data is all being displayed on a single screen. So this is what I'm going to be touching today. So just to guide on what I just mentioned just now is that I'm going to be focusing on three major shifts. Then I'll be touching on human-centric AI and trust. I'll share some case study, Malaysian case study, and how do we implement this in real life. So I'll be going in with start small and scale smart. So and after that we will go into the interactive discussion where or you can just straight away shoot the chat and I will collate and I will try to adjust my speech or my presentation today based on the meeting chat that I'll be monitoring on my right hand side here. Okay. A real Let's start with a real experience. Okay, as again I mentioned, I'm going to be sharing some use cases, right? A team is overwhelmed with 20 dashboards, yet still no clarity. So technology wasn't the issue. Clarity was. So basically, it's clarity that is needed, not the dashboards, not the so-called glary dashboards with all the charts, numbers, and all that. Because when you see a lot of numbers on a screen or dashboards, right, it's mainly descriptive. It's telling you what has happened or what's happening now. But leaders need further insights. They need uh, a projection to the future. They need some scale on what's going to happen. Why is this going to happen? Because if we can move HR and when it comes to people management, right, from being doing repetitive jobs, right, being management and all that, right, to being strategic. So this is the thing that we're going to be discussing today, where all this mundane repeated work can be replaced with more strategic work that will bring more results and give better results in for the organization and for the people that they are leading in the organization itself. So AI is not complexity. AI should be clarity. So AI is about adding isn't about adding more complexity. AI is about removing noise so we can focus on what truly matters. These insights created a shift in how I consult on AI because what people or leaders want now is clarity in helping them making informed business decisions based on data. So when we have data and yet you can't make decisions, so there is a gap in the middle there where maybe the business question has not been asked properly or not being looked into directly so that it can reflect the actual KPI that the organization is trying to solve at that particular what. It's not about showing data. It's about using data to make decisions. Okay. The three powerful shifts that we're going to be talking today is going to be shift one, shift two, and shift three. Shift one, I'll be discussing on data rich, from data rich to decision intelligent. Shift two, I'll be talking about human centric AI as a standard, and shift three, I'll be talking about proactive workforce intelligence. Okay. Um, from this experience, we get noticing three major, as I mentioned, the three shifts. I noticing three major shifts. So the one that I just mentioned. So let's explore them through a human lens instead of a technical one. So this is what we're going to be focusing on today. Okay, we'll go into the shift one from data rich to decision intelligent. So as you can see on the left, there's a lot of dashboards, a lot of numbers, a lot of charts, and all that, right? People are drowning in dashboard reports and metrics, but with no clear direction and priorities. So this is not a technology problem here. It's actually a process and a thought problem. It's more like a direction problem. So basically, the way how we solve this is that we can use AI. If we direct the AI, we prompt it properly, and include all the frameworks that has been established. Like in McKinsey Consulting, we use Barbara Minto, pyramid principle. We use messy, mutually exclusive, completely exhaustive framework so that when we build and state the use case to our management, it will be in such a way that it will be directed and focused in the lens of our on our leaders. So it's not mainly a technical matter where I don't blame the IT people that who are taking out the data from the database and trying their very best to put it on a dashboard, but it ended up will with a descriptive dashboard, so with less insight. So it's much more just displaying what it is, but it's not giving us direction in for where the organization should go in the future. So this is what's lacking, that and this is why when I go nationwide, I'll give talks. I'll be in another forum this coming Monday, so it will be held by CRM. So that's another platform that I will be sharing the same thing that I'm sharing today. So it's too much data, but not enough clarity. So dashboard overload is one of it. Priority paralysis, where everything is marked as important, but nothing truly, nothing truly is. So basically, there's a lot of leaders out there that is struggling to identify which metrics is genuinely driving the business outcome. So that is
Encik,
actually, yeah.
sorry, Encik Helmi, do you
Yeah.
have do you share slide just now? No?
Oh, do you see me? You can't see my screen?
No, no, no.
Oh my! All
Okay,
this
okay, okay.
while oh
Uh,
I've been talking and without sharing screen.
sorry,
Really
sorry.
sorry, audience. Really
Okay.
sorry, audience. Thank you for reminding. Oh my, I was all this while. Okay, okay. Oh, as again, thank you for reminding. I thought I was I shared the screen. I'm really sorry, audience.
Okay.
So these are the three shifts: the case study and interaction discussion. Oh, okay, and change everything. So complexity and clarity, the three shifts, right? And the old way and the new way. Too much data, not enough clarity. So this is the thing that I discussed just now. And okay, so we are here. I thank you for reminding Cik Gade. I really well I thought that the the slide was on, so I can share the slides later. Right, we are just only 9 slides in the the, there's a lot more slides that I'm going to share, but okay, sorry for the 9 slides earlier that I didn't on my sharing. What? So there's too much data but not enough clarity. So this is the part where dashboard overload, priority paralysis, and meeting inefficiency. So meaning there's a lot of meetings, but there's too less decision being made. Too much reporting, but too little clarity. So this is the baseline why management is looking into AI and data analytics and business intelligence, but yet the CFO, the COO, the CIO is questioning, why am I still having problems making decisions? So as again, the imperative is not about the too less data. They're flooded with a mountain of data, but the issue is that the data is not clean, and the trust in the data itself is questionable, because the data is all scattered throughout in all the people's laptop, and there's no single source of truth. If there's no single source of truth, that's the reason why the management or the leaders is having problem trusting the dashboard, even though how glary it is, how fancy it is. The leaders will have problems in terms of what we call it, making the decision, because they don't trust the data that is being presented. First of all, it's not a single source of truth, it's not validated, and it's not accurately, what we call it, justified on how it came to that into that particular conclusion. Okay, we'll go to the next slide. Okay, AI turns data into signal. So the term that I'm going to use today now is signal. Is from data and signal. Signal is where you see the traffic light, you see the green, yellow, and amber, and you can see the red light, right? So those are traffic light signals. So where to go, where to stop, and where to prepare. So these are the kind of things that is needed in by the management, so that there will be signals all along the way. So the dashboard is not, the AI is not making the decision, but it will give signals. So with clear and, as again, clarity, clear signals, so that will help our management to make proper and forward looking what we call the decisions in the future. Okay, definitely the slides I can Jahina, right? Jahina Ali, I will send these slides. These slides can be shared, not a problem. So intelligent prioritization, risk detection, and clarity amplification. So AI reduces noise and highlight priorities. It gives signals, not just charts. This speeds up decision cycles. So as again, making informed business decision based on data, that's my passion. So that's the reason why when you see my title is Data Driven Management Consultant. Okay. And next one is that how AI clean the noise. So this is my team's expertise. Where in Credence or TM Digital Innovation, we have a team of data experts where we go into customers' data, and we look into the data quality. We see data gaps, if there's data gaps and there's data, what we call it, inconsistencies. So we'll advise the management, the HR, I mean the HR in this case, because it's on people management. Then we will advise if we were to do prediction. So this is how accurate it can become. Can be only at 20% accuracy because of the data gaps and all that. If the data is at 70% accuracy, I mean quality, then we can make a prediction which is way much better than the previous one. So this is what we did. We reduced the noise from 20 dashboards, which I don't blame the IT people, because the IT people are, computer science background and what. So basically, what they do is that they take the data from the database and they display it in fancy dashboards. But that's not what management is looking for. Management is looking for clarity and they're looking for strategic insights. Hold on. So when management comes to strategic insight, the question that is going to be answered by the chart that they want to see is why? Why is it happening? Why are we going to this direction? So these are the strategic questions that being asked by COOs, CIOs, CEOs, and so these are all the question that needs to be answered at a board or strategic level. And again, it involves predictive intelligence. If it's just describing of what has happened, then without predictive intelligence inside it, then there's no point even to apply AI into the dashboard. Okay, and leadership meeting is shortened by 40%, whilst decision quality and strategic focus improve measurably. So what I'm saying here, instead of having more and more meetings, more decision can be made. So a meeting, a place where decisions are being made, not just to state what's obvious. So this is the imperative that we're going to go deeper in today's talk. Quick question. I would love to see some chat remarks here on my right screen here. How many of you have encountered dashboards in your organization that no one truly knows how to use or interpret effectively? If there's any, please share with me. If there's any quick shows of hand, if you have any dashboards that you have seen but you don't know how to interpret, please share on the in the chat. Yes. So basically, this is the main problem that we have in organizations, where we have a lot of data points, we have a lot of dashboards, fancy, glammy dashboards being created by very expensive tools, but what's next? So that's the point where management is swimming in all this data and all that, and yet decision can be made. So it doesn't justify. That's why the CFO will always shout about ROI, return of investments. I've invested so much in this AI and data analytics, but decision making quality is still the same. So this is the main quick question that I'm going to be discussing today, and how do we resolve that? So this is the part where we will, uh, what does it include? Because as again, right, when the dashboard is created by IT people, I was a IT literate guy because I took computer science, right, when I was in the UK. So basically, and I came back, I'm also a lecturer in Monash University. I was a lecturer in Monash University, Malaysia, and also in Ling Kok Wing. At that time, it was institute. It's not a university back then in 1998. So I do come from a lecturing family. My mom and dad are both professors. So basically, I do come from an education background. Centric, what we call it. But what I'm saying is here, right? When it comes to dashboards and how we interpret it, right? That's another skill, because having a dashboard, but if you can't communicate it effectively to the people or the audience, it's hard for the audience to connect the dots. So you need to have a person that is well equipped with the business acumen and also the technology itself. So you need somebody to bridge this both, and this is why I come in. So I'm a bridge because I'm technically trained, and I'm also part of the management consulting team in Telecom Malaysia. So it's good. I can see a lot of questions coming in, so just keep the questions coming in. Or if there's any query, I'm looking on my right hand side here. There's a lot of questions coming up and feedbacks. Thank you. Okay, AI doesn't add more data. it reveals what matter most. So this is the part where, so that what when AI, repeat it again, AI reveals what matter most, so human can act. So this is the reason why AI is here to assist us, not to add more problems. But if AI is getting us to go and get into much more cluttered data source, data points, and more complex dashboards, then I think the direction on who's driving the AI, it needs to be questioned, not the AI itself. The AI can do things faster. It's like, as I mentioned earlier, it's like a microwave, but it cannot be a magical microwave or super agile microwave where you put something in and it will come out like a pizza. If rubbish is being thrown into it, it will come out with fast burn rubbish. So this is the part where we need to be clear that it's it's not here to replace us, but it will enhance. As I mentioned just now, bionic woman, bionic man, right? So it can lift heavy loads and even run faster. So that's the purpose, not to replace us. AI is to enhance what we are doing now, but so that we can focus on what things that which is more relevant and more important. Okay, then we go to shift two now. Human-centric AI becomes the standard. So as again, if it's not trusted and it's not transparent, it doesn't abide with the organizational ethics and it doesn't empower people, then the AI initiative is not actually adding value to the organization. So AI needs to become more human centered, not machine centered. So this is the part where we will discuss this, especially in people management, where AI needs to be governed and needs to be. But I think governance will be handled by our fourth speaker, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, I mean, yeah, by our fourth speaker. But I do also pitch and preach about governance, where especially when my AI, I mean the data analytics that is being governed by being run by TM, digital innovation, is all running in the cloud. So without clear governance, like especially in the government, the we have to classify the data as data sulit, data ratio, which is secret data, crucial data, and working data, right, or public data. So with all this governance all in place, with all the right data tagging, then only we can work on the data accordingly. If it's involving PII, personal identifiable information, then the data needs to be stored on-prem and it will be processed there. So what we do is that we do a hybrid kind of AI implementation in organization, where some of the data that is non-crucial can be passed to the heavy load can be passed to the cloud, where the computation power and storage is bigger, and where data is actually needs to be kept secret, then will be processed on site, on prem. So okay, then it comes to everywhere where I go, people are fear that AI will take over their job. I can say that AI is not taking anybody's job, but people who are using AI will. So that's the part where you need to understand that AI is not the problem. Is that the thing is that I can create this deck, and actually it is true. The whole 37 decks, right? I can do it with AI in few minutes. But as again, the data source or the data points or the business case or the business what we call it reports and all that, right, needs to be stored into a single source of truth. And this is what we are doing in Credence, where we create this data points, or we call it Fabric. If you heard about Microsoft Fabric, it's a modern data platform where AI can interact and work with data that is accurate and coming from a single source of truth. The problem is that management will question the quality of your decision or the quality of your suggestion, because that the data is everywhere. Okay, I'm just looking at there's some new questions here. Okay. get the questions here. So, yep, I agree with one of the data comprised of quantitative data, how organization manage subject on information for the dashboard for the okay. Quantitative data, as again as I mentioned, right? It's numbers, right? And how do we turn it into qualitative? Qualitative means that it has opinions, it has suggestion, and as again AI. If I were to have more time, I can show you, right? When I do social media analytics and I talk to the CMO, Chief Marketing Officer, or the Chief CIO of any organization, or even at government level, when I scan a certain issue where the data is quantitative, there's a lot of data points there. I hear some background noise in the back here. Somebody's opening the mic. Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Yeah. Is there a question that is trying to be asked? Okay, it's okay. I think it's off now. So when we go to the CMO and the CIO, right, or the Setiausaha Akhbar, Kerjaya Negeri, so they are swamped with a lot of influx, especially on social media where people are narrating good or bad. Oh yeah, I'm also part of the MCMC, the Radar project back in 2015, and we did a scan on social media, what we call feeds and all that. So this is the part where this quantitative data, especially coming from social media, is of influx of data. How do we make it into a quality data point so that people can make decisions? So this is where we need to categorize the data. Right. These are news, these are complaints, these are, probably what we call data points that can lead to sedition, people are telling lies. So when we categorize all these data points and where are the data sources, then we look into the influencer and the detractors who are people are talking. So then when we label it properly and we put it into a dashboard, then management can see from that point. So this is where the direction or the movement when we do implement some certain what we call it projects, and this is what people are coming with. And this touch point can be felt in real time. So the same thing if applied in people management, right? If you were to do a survey, and that survey will take months, right, months or weeks to collate, and then after that you make decision on that. What if the pool can be asked to all your staff, right, or people in the organization, or via a chat, maybe like, or a form, 30 questions, and they answer it all, like what we are doing here in TM. We have a lot of polls and we have to answer it. So when I answer it, like it will be collected into Microsoft form, and after that the management straight away can make decision, because these are real input coming from all the staff on their feedback and their feeling. I mean their aspiration on how, or the frustration on how things are being done, and the data points is all collected efficiently, passed to a system that can go through thousands and thousands of feedbacks in a matter of minutes or matter of seconds. So basically, these are the things that how technology is helping HR and our management in Telecom Malaysia, especially in making their decisions, or on how to navigate the organization to a better and a much rewarding place. Okay. So as again, fear comes from ambiguity, not technology. People fear losing relevance, not the tool itself. We must address emotional truth, not technical features. So this is the point where I'm going to go deeper today. AI support, it doesn't replace, as I mentioned earlier, right? AI handles repetitive tasks. So let AI do all the repetitive tasks. Human handles empathy, judgment, and creativity. So we are now unburdened from going through all this repeated job. Anything that is repeated, pass it to AI, pass it to tech. So they will do all those repetitive jobs, and we as people in organization, right, or work, can focus on the three things that I just mentioned: empathy, judgment, and creativity. Judgment, don't pass it to AI. it's still coming. It still needs to come from a person, a human being, because there's a lot of things that even though we are heading to Jarvis, like in Iron Man, right? There's AI that is super intelligent. We are heading there, but as again, from ethics and what it should be still done by a human being, right? AI supports people and it doesn't replace them. So that's the tagline that we'll be focusing on today. Okay, real-time workforce sentiment intelligence. As I mentioned just now, if the forms can be quickly and be what we call it can be assessed by the system and come back with high level key takeaways, right? And it's just like having a pulse on the organizational health, right? Instead of waiting for it to become an outburst or become a crisis, right? Early warnings can be in place so that we can tell that there are burnouts are about to happen. There are about the high performance about to leave or because of unsatisfactory or some mobbing happening in the workplace. So these are all the things that we can HR can detect it before it becomes a burden to the organization. Okay, now let's think again. And when was the last time you felt unheard at work? I'll be reading through the what. If you have felt unheard at work, right? AI can help see us AI can help the management see the signals, even though you don't say it outwardly, but AI can detect it. There's some yeah, you can detect anomaly in the way how you come to work, how you respond in meeting. Before this, you send emails in a week like 5 or 6 times, but now it seems barely a single email is coming out from you. So from there, AI can detect this difference in behavior, in patterns. So from there itself, it can feed back to the management in saying that there's something uh, behaving or something is changing in this particular person's behavior. So for people to detect that, it will maybe take time or never. But with AI, it can give this feedback back to HR and management. So this is the part where I'm trying to look into the questions here. Okay. Still the quantitative data. So I'll continue with the conversation. I mean the part here. So AI can help us see signals, but human response with compassion. AI can't do that. Compassion is still human being, so it's still being handled by human beings. AI amplifies humanity. It doesn't replace it. So as again, this is the thing that we're going to be focusing on. AI doesn't remove the need for human. AI doesn't remove the need for human leadership. We still need human leadership to be enhanced and being instigated in any organization. So leaders, don't worry. So you are not here to be replaced by AI, but you're going to be assisted in many ways, shape, or form, right? Where to make informed business decisions. So HR is evolving into a strategic partner instead of just doing admin work. HR can focus on becoming a strategic partner between the management, the board, and the workforce itself. So this is the third major shift that we're going to be discussing today. So we have discussed number one and number two. Now we are in shift number three, right? HR shifting from admin work to strategy. AI is accelerating this transformation. So before this, it's trying to move at a certain pace, but with AI in place, in the proper place, it can accelerate the transformation from AI-driven HR, right, in a faster and a much safer way. As again, too much admin, no, not enough strategy. So this is the part where C levels. I mean, we can't blame HR. HR is buried with paperwork. People are leaving, people are complaining, people are what. So it's not their fault. It's the system. So this is the time where we need to relook back in reorganizing the system, enhancing the system, and the limit is actually their strategic. This limits their strategic contribution. So it means that HR cannot uh, contribute in becoming strategic. because they are burdened with a lot more admin work. So this is the part where we're going to look into how AI can solve this. So with AI, it unlocks HR capacity. This creates time for capability mapping, culture insights, and future skills planning. Because without releasing them from focusing on these areas, right? So they are too swamped with admin work. Uh, the clock in, clock out, payroll, and all that. Leave this all to AI. AI. As long as I'm paid the same amount every month, I'm happy. AI is to handle all those mundane and repetitive work. So, but if HR can focus on capability mapping, culture insights, and future skill planning, so people can be placed at the right place. I mean, at the right institution or the right department within the organization, so that we don't expect a fish to climb a tree as efficient as a monkey, and we don't ask the monkey to go into the water and swim as fast as a fish. So I'm seeing that there's a lot of things that where people are being placed where the skills are not being rationalized and being optimized to the fullest. So basically, as back to the fish analogy just now, right? If the fish can be placed in a place where it can perform and be seen doing much more relevant work with the skill sets and the attributes that it has. So these are the things that HR should focus on. Future skill map planning. From MA to strategic work, we see that 30% time reduction from by using automation. A lot when automation is being used, a lot of this mundane work can be solved. So still will need people in HR, but the HR people are doing more quality work instead of doing mundane and repetitive work. HR finally now can focus on high impact work instead of the manual task and all that. So this unlocks AI, and this is what AI unlocks in organization. Okay, I think I've been going through all this. Let's go and let me concentrate on the chat now, right? Let's do a quick poll, right? If HR had more time, what should they focus on? I'm asking the audience here, right? If HR what, right? This is the suggestion, but I would love to hear from the audience as well. What do you think HR should focus on? I'll give you 4 samples here. If there's other more that you think that is one of the pointers that HR should focus on, please shoot in the chat for in the chat place here, yeah, in this meeting chat. Employee experience, should they focus on employee experience, culture building, skills development, or strategic planning? So these are yep. As again, strategic planning is their focus. It should be their focus. Strategic planning. So as again, everybody's focusing on strategic planning. Yes, thank you very much. So I think it's safe for me to go to the next slide, where AI frees HR to lead, not just administer. So this is the part where planning and suggestion program initiative that makes working environment more constructive. Yes, employee experience. Yes, yeah, it's good. Nabil, we have a mixture because when they are free, they can work and they can even communicate more with the staff. So instead of doing and being sit and place at the laptop doing people's payroll, doing HR letters here and there, let AI do that, and they can focus on employee experience where they can meet where people can meet people instead of just sending an email to the employee concerned. So yes, this is the part where the future of HR isn't about doing less, it's about doing what matters most. Strategic leadership, as been mentioned in the meeting chat, cultural stewardship, and human-centered innovation. So these are the things that HR should focus on. Okay, it comes to the technology part where normally people ask, okay, Helmi, you've been talking about AI. This surely is going to cost a bomb. It's going to break my organizational budget when it comes to AI because, and some will say to me that if it's if it's not broken, don't fix it. Just let it be because it's still working. So, but as again, if that's the attitude and that's the culture, then you'll be still driving at that pace, and you're not going and you're not leveraging on AI's capability and capacity and what it can do in in a full force, right? So, as again, as stated in my screen on the deck here, start small but focus on big impact. Start with one specific challenge. So there's one of the organization that I helped where we did a pilot project. We start with a small scale project, and then we justify the investment. Then the CFO is pleased with the outcome. COO, CIO was pleased with the outcome. Then we started with the data warehouse project. So then we start integrating multiple data points for multiple data points from multiple departments. Then we come up with what we call it organizational dashboards that reflects what was the board and the leadership is looking at or looking for. So all of this was trained. We trained the business users. We trained the what we call it the dashboard developers within the organization, and then and now they are running it all on their own. So this is what we do here in Telecom Malaysia. We assist organization where if they are lacking in the business part or business acumen part, we'll come in and we'll guide them and we'll assist them. So choose a modular and affordable tools because there's a lot of AI tools out there. Don't go with the big ones. The one that can have all in one. So that will of course will cost you a bomb, but look into the small one that solves specific needs of your department or your daily task. Prove the value, and then only you start scaling. Learn and adapt quickly. So this is the part where how can you curb the budget? The budget curve. So basically, instead of buying the whole Lamborghini, right? You go with piecemeals and you go with smaller projects, or as again, I'm not selling anything here. Please don't get me wrong. But this is what we are doing here in Telecom Malaysia. So basically, what we do is that our core business is still data and line, which is telecommunication and data. But we built a department so that we can assist customers or assist organization. That's why I've been called nationwide to go to, like I mentioned, tourism. I mean, in Johor. I'm going to be talking in social security platform next week, Monday. So these are all the organization why they are calling us, right? Is to share on how can how can we assist them in the AI and technology transformation journey. So this is a 3 simple step approach. Look into the high friction problem, identify the most painful process, use modular or low cost AI tools, and scale after proving value. So as again, when value is in the picture, cost is no longer an imperative. The management won't talk about cost anymore because they see the value. But if you pitch on the tool, and that will imply cost, and of course, a lot of cost saving measures will be taken place, especially by the CFO and the finance team, because they don't see the value. But if you can prove the value, right, that it can impact to the organization, that will assist the so is there what am I short of time or what team? Somebody was trying to say something. Cik Rizwan, was it your team?
No, Cik Helmi. No.
Okay. So I have a few more slides here. So basically, no worry. We are about to what? So I hope I can land on time, right, before 12, so that I can give more space for question Q&A. So as again, pick the high friction problem. Use low cost AI tools. There's plenty out there. Scale after proving value. So this is the thing. This methodological approach minimize risk while maximize learning opportunities. So basically, from here, this is what we did with the organization that we assisted, where they did dynamic pricing. They wanted to do something like like what Asia was doing. So we helped them. We looked into the data. We pinpoint the areas of where they can increase the ticket sales and where they should impose other approach so that ticket sales or the riders can be more. So what we did, that project was done together with the railway, what we call it, provider in Malaysia. So I think everybody will know who it is. So I won't mention names, but that's the project that we did. So me and my team, we assist them. So we started small, then we went into the data warehouse, and then now it's the whole organization that we are doing, and it's analytics in the cloud. Okay. Now the question starts. Before starting, do you have access to data? Okay, AI will say that, yeah, we have all the data in the world. Okay, fine. Then I will look into, when I do the data quality check, we look into data gaps, the data readiness, and we see that a lot of instances where the data has not been accurately being entered. So where I don't want to mention names, it's just that when I plot the long lat or the data coordinate, right, of certain locations, right, I can see that schools are on top of a hill, right? The police station is in the middle of the sea, so the long lat was not accurately the numbers, the 16 digit or the whole digit of the long lat, longitude, latitude, right? Maybe they put 10, that's where everything shift to the sea and up the hill. So these are the kind of things that we need to recheck the data, qualify it, and maybe we have to reinvent a better process. So we stop the free flow entering numbers into the system. We use TM Smart Map. We impose TM Smart Map, and then instead of them putting all the 16 digit or 20 digit, I mean the whole range of numbers in as the long lat, they have to put in the road, the alley, the state, the district, and all that. So then the long lat will be done by the system, so that we can curb data errors in the future from happening. So, and then of course the main important thing is that, does the leadership buys into this? Because without leadership buy-in, when it comes to data governance, everybody will say we don't have the data, because they want to hoard the data in their laptop, because they are afraid there's again they are afraid of losing a job. So they'll say that the data points are missing here and there. So basically, these are the kind of things where data steward needs to be appointed at each point of the department or organizations, where one steward will handle finance, one steward will handle, like production, operation, marketing, sales, and all that. So when me as the data scientist in the organization, I will see that if I say that the management wants see one report, and I can see there's some data gaps or some data is not being shared by the stewards, then I know who to pinpoint. Right? If it's a finance issue, if it's something related to money, then I will look into the finance stewards. I don't ask everybody. I just only ask one person, the steward. So these are the things that can only be done if we have leadership buy-in, and we can appoint the right people with the right autonomy or authority to share the data. Or not everybody will be scared stiff to share the data, to especially to the IT team, or to the what we call it, to the analytics team that is doing the analysis. Where this is where we want to curb data hoarding, where data is being hoarded by certain teams, and they are not sharing the real truth. And that's the reason why you cannot do analytics or AI when the data is dispersed and still in people's laptop. It needs to be in one place, and in Microsoft they call it Fabric, Microsoft Fabric, or in a wider or generic sense we call it modern data platform. So that's where the AI will start work effectively and efficiently. Okay, this comes to another question. AI is biased. Yes, it can. AI can become biased because human beings are biased. So that's the reason why AI is biased. But what's the advantage of biased AI is that biased AI can detect, because the language of AI or computers are 0 and 1. It's binary. So if I can see an anomaly in the data, as a data scientist, I can see that there's some data inconsistency. But then in human being, because it involves feeling, they can smile to your face, but in their heart we can't tell what's inside, what's hurting in the heart. So that's the reason why the bias in human being occurs, where they can be friendly, they can say the right things at the right time, in the right meeting, in front of the right people, but actually they are resisting or doing something in the back end in their heart, and where that can only be proof in time and cannot be what. But in AI, I can give you a sample where an organization, enforcement organization, in 2007, the enforcement was high, and then 2008 it went down, and then 2009 it went back up. So everybody thought that in 2008 everybody was happy and a lot of crime and all that, it's getting lesser. But when I look into the enforcement data, I ask, can I see the enforcement data? Who did enforce this, and who are people are involved in the enforcement side? A lot of red faces suddenly came up in the meeting. So from there itself, right, there's IQ, thinking intelligence, EQ, emotional intelligence, and AQ, analytical quotient, where what the ability to ask the right question. If you ask the right question, you can be geared and be placed to the right answers. But if you ask the wrong questions, that's the reason why you're getting dashboards, up to 20 dashboards, and not three dashboard that really signifies or what our management needs. So this is the part where the AQ part needs to be inculcated in the people that are enforced or are be entrusted to do the analysis for any organization. So that's where I come in. I will guide. I will do consultancy services, all right, and I will guide the team on how to think strategically. At the same time, doing the normal work, being tactical and operational. Okay, how do we keep AI fair? So this is another part where if you want to keep AI fair, that's the reason why you need to have diverse data points. Diverse data, multiple data points. So basically, we can look into HR data, we can look into finance data, we can look into operational data, we can look into the CSAT, the customer report. So then we jive it all together. Then we can see, does it tells a single story? If marketing is telling something different, sales is telling something different, HR is telling something different. So there must be a mismatch in the data itself. Some data must be fabricated. So from there itself, we can go and look into the data quality, and we can pinpoint where the actual root problem is coming from. Because mainly the root problem is coming from internal. That's the reason why, where we look into. And as again, the point number three is fairness in audits. So in audits, where conducting regular reviews, identify correct discriminatory patterns, compliance and equality legislation, and is non-negotiable. So this is going to be handled by our speaker number four. But I also am heavily, what we call it, being trained in Dharma, which is data management organization, right? Where we are being asked to look into Dharma and DGI, Data Governance Institute, so certification and framework. So being asked to look into that. So this is where if I having by a solid framework, this is how the output that is being governed, or I mean produced by AI, is not questioned by our leadership. Okay, so I'm gonna go into this Q&A time. I would love to have a lot of Q&A from the audience. So I still have a few slides more here to share. But before we go into that, is there just shoot me, and anything man-made can be biased. Yeah, yep. Anything man-made can be biased. The man itself is also biased, right? Yeah, because the person that is building the system itself is biased. Yeah, I do agree with that. What is your opinion? For example, if the organization did not own structured data and lots of data not connected, how? Okay. This is a good question. I love this kind of question because it gives me and it allows me to share some real life cases where I go without naming names. I've gone to some federal, what we call it, and state level organizations where they are actually the economic planners for the particular state. And I see a lot of, as again, the problem was data is not organized. It's still in Excel. It's okay. Excel is okay. No problem. But there are some still in forms, not being properly transposed to digital. So that is something that they need to look into, where digitization of the documents is one of it. All right, when another thing that you mentioned here is good, Azlin, is about connected. Data is not connected, as again is in people's laptop. This is what needs to be done at a top-down level, where it needs to be instructed and it needs to be directed by the leaders. If it's just at mid level, it won't go any further. It won't go far. There's going to be a lot of problems. There's going to be a lot of obstacles. There's a lot of finger pointing is going to happen. But if we build a data governance council, the sponsors is the highest level in the organization, like the GCEO, Group Chief Executive Officer, like in Telecom Malaysia. He sponsors the project. Then we have our governance council team, and under the governance council team, there's all the heads of each departments in the organization. And then in Telecom Malaysia, we have even GCEOs. We even have CEOs like VADS, VADS, Value Added Digital Services of Telecom Malaysia. We have TMRND. We have MMU. So these are all we have TM Unify, TM Global. So these are all the organization. And at first in 2016, that it was hard to combine all these leaders into one, because everybody will be quite defensive in terms of their autonomy to their data and all that. But if it's governed and it's been instructed by the highest leader, then they have to comply. So from there itself, we appoint stewards, as I mentioned earlier in my conversation or in my presentation today, data stewards. And from that data steward itself, right, we'll pinpoint the data gaps and data accuracy. So if it's done in such a way that you have the governance council in place and the process is all there on paper. So this is how you can to answer Azlin's questions, right, in the chat, right, where how do we need to start? You need to start with the council. You need to start with the council, and it needs to have the leadership buy-in. As again in my previous deck, do you have leadership buy-in? Right. If you don't have leadership buy-in, don't start the project. It won't go anywhere. I can tell you, it won't go anywhere. It will be just another repeated process where it's going to be a never-ending story. During my years with the company. Okay. When you talk about 5 year level 5, when was this, Zahro? 5 years, 3 years ago. Okay, you're certified CMMI level 5. We constructed a BI structure with collecting data from 2005. So 2005 is big data. So big data, there's no, so it's still data collection process where it's business intelligence, mainly on that. It's just dashboards. So during this time, that's where you can see 20 dashboards coming up on screen. 20 dashboards. I can see a lot of command center having all the dashboards coming up, but decisions are not being made on the spot. There's no prescriptive analytics. The AI is not fully developed, because AI only came into full force when OpenAI was introduced fully, and everybody sees and start using ChatGPT and appreciating it in 2023. So 2005, I was part of this, so it's still dispersed. I mean, yeah, it's still more like a Hadoop Cloudera kind of um, interim session at this particular time here. So Yeah, I can see that collecting data from ground using C to develop dashboards, no AI at that time was different. So the difference, as you mentioned, there's no AI at that time. There's AI now. With AI, as what we're discussing now, AI is here to assist you, and now you have your bionic arms and bionic legs. You can run faster. You can lift heavier things now, which way better than if you have heard about Zaro, right? About generative BI. Just imagine, right? Chatting with like ChatGPT, but you're chatting with but it needs to be in Microsoft Fabric. Now with your Power BI, you can do a chat, like a chat with the BI itself, and then straight away your dashboard is all being created by what. So that will take away the relevancy and your need to work together with IT and where to find the data and all that. So AI, if all the data is in one place in Fabric or a modern data platform, you can straight away chat with the data and just imagine the technologies now. The dashboard will be up in seconds, and even if you want insights, they can give you projections and future insights to what to the charts that they have. What? So now the Q&A, right? I'll guide some questions, and I want to see more questions coming up. Please ask me questions, right? And let's go deeper into this guiding questions, right? And here are some assistance and to guide your thought process on your what can be asked, right? What worries you about AI? Let's address concerns openly and honestly, and let's make this as a forum so that we can share the insights together. What do you see is the biggest opportunity by using AI that can solve your organizational problems, and how can we support your journey? I'm not selling TM again. I'm not here for Credit or not pushing Credit, but how can people like me or any company out there support you in this journey? What resource or guidance would be most valuable in your sense? If you were to go back, and some of you, I know that you're working professionals, you go back to Petronas, TNB, or where you come from in GLCs or MNCs, right? You go back to your organization after your PhD or masters, what we call it, education at Uniten. Please share. I would love to hear your question if there's any. I have somewhere around like 5 more slides before I end the session, but I would love to see if there's any question from the floor. If you have any ideas that we can, reconvene together within this forum. And I loved all the questions that have been asked before that. I'm just going to go through the questions, see whether I miss any. What's your opinion? Okay. Okay. Maruki Abdullah. Okay. In light of rapid digital transformation and the rise of AI-driven decision making, how should organizations redefine their leadership and governance framework to ensure sustained employee engagement, ethical innovation, and resilience? Okay, yep. This is a good question by Al Maruki Abdullah. So I love this question because this question relates directly to what we what we call it working on at Telecom, where about that the way how I go to digital transformation at the state level and even organization nationwide, right? So as again, leadership needs to be well adverse and well aware of how AI they need to join this kind of discussion that we're having now, right? Where AI is not going to solve all the problems. It's not like a magical microwave that you can just throw things in and then you expect wonders to come out. No, if it's rubbish in, it's rubbish out. It's people that actually drive the AI. What we call it successful implementation in our organization, and again in leadership and governance framework, right? I mentioned earlier, I didn't indirectly I did answer this question. The governance framework can be solved by having a governance, what we call it, a corporate governance council, spearheaded by the highest authority of the organization itself, which is the GCEO, right? The group CEO that governs and oversee all the other CEOs, like in Telecom Asia, all the CEOs reports to the GCEO. So from there itself, then only we can get data being shared, and data steward are willing to share and willing to what we call it not say expose or more to reveal the data so that the central governance analytics team can come up with the right dashboards or the correct dashboard. As I mean, we don't need 20 dashboards, right? We just need 3 dashboards that answers the GCO question. So this is the part where the governance, the people, the awareness needs to be implemented. As again, technology is still technology, but the one that's driving the car or the technology itself is still people. So this is where this change management is more like a change management project, right? Needs to be governed at an organizational level where technology is 30%, people is 30%, and process is 30%. And the rest it will be the data itself. The data needs to be accurate and of quality. Let's go to other questions that I might miss. I think I've gone through all the questions. I'm just going to go down. No more questions from the floor. If there's no more question, I'll just go to the next deck. Right. The smarter workplace. People first. AI amplified. The future belongs to leaders who blend clarity, empathy, and technology. People first, AI amplified. So that's my tagline here. So basically, is AI is amplifying what people first, all right, is inspiring to attain or people first, what we call it, Mantic is being in place where what people are trying to achieve in any organization. So I think my clock just so I have 15 minutes more to go. So yep, I'm at the end of my slides here. So AI doesn't replace humans, it reveals what human can truly become. If you look at the bottom there in small captions there, human technology liberates us from administrative burden. We discover our capacity and capability for profound strategic thinking. As again, I can see in the chat, everybody's agreeing that everybody needs to think about strategic thinking. Then we need to ask the strategic question, which is why more rather than how and what. So, genuine human connection, that's good, and transformative leadership. So, as again, if I were to answer back going back to Mr. Who's the okay, the question prior, the question previously, right? It's mainly about transformative leadership. This is how leadership can transform their presence in an organization by using AI. Okay, and thank you. And please do connect with me in LinkedIn. We don't stop here. I am very active on LinkedIn. I'm also a KOL, key opinion leader for Telecom Malaysia, Credit especially, and TM1. So please do connect with me on LinkedIn. And this is my LinkedIn page. Right, that's my title there. So as you can see, I'm an influencer. So I do have like 14K followers and mainly CEOs, CIOs, COOs that I've presented to. And please, if you have any question, we don't stop here. We can further proceed this on LinkedIn. Oh, very big. What skill are very big fonts here. What skills are necessary to work with data effectively? We have abundance of data, but how can we identify which data is valuable, which is not? What skills are essential for managing it? Okay. So this is where in our team we have data visualizers. They are trained for using tools like Power BI. They're using those are the data visualizers, but we have the people at the back end that is not seen by any organization or what, but they are very crucial to our these are people that are doing the master data management, MDM. So in the MDM on our, okay, I'm using a bit jargon here, please what? But the MDM is where the data quality is being what? I have a few decks that can solve this, but I mean I can illustrate it, but that will be another forum because I will be going in depth. But then without going depth, right? But just answering this question here, Doctor. Uh, you will need this data quality check to see the data gaps, data inconsistencies. So the skills will be there will be a data engineer trained in data quality itself. So there is in data science there's this section there where normally when I preach or when I pitch this, right, because I've been trained also in IBM and Microsoft where we do this MDM stage here, where the data quality, the certification that is needed is that guy or that person needs to know how to handle the tools. The tool will do it, and with AI it can be done. But it needs to guide the tool in finding data gaps, data inconsistencies, like like in Malaysia there's jalan, j dot, jalan, jln, right? So all of this needs to be normalized and be standardized. So these are all the jobs of the data engineers that we have in Credence or in telecom data innovation, TM digital innovation. So this is the part where people have abundance of data without any without any question about that. But how can we make it into valuable data is by cleaning it. So this is where instead of having a database, then we have a data warehouse, and then we have a data, what we call it, data vaults, so that we can easily get the data warehouse, and right, and then we can data lake and data warehouse, so that we can get the data quick, so that we can do the dashboard for our management and the skills, as I mentioned, Doctor, those are the skill set that is needed: data management, data to handle the tools. It can be done by AI, and some of the tools that I can say that I'm well qualified at is like I'm using Denodo, Denodo, right? They can do data virtualization. That's another advanced tool. Another tool where just imagine, right? If Einstein's have his EMC square data, and the president of US wants a dashboard, but that data cannot go out from Einstein's house. But how can we build the dashboard for the president? So how we do it is that with data virtualization, data is not being cached and all that. It's just being what? Data still at the source, which is at Einstein's house. This is just an analogy, right? I mean, like a way on how to understand data virtualization is, right? Data is not being moved. The dashboard is being created. The leaders will see the dashboard, and the moment they switch off the laptop, no cache data and all that is being stored, all back to Einstein's house, and then the dashboard is being cleared, and then all the cache is all being cleared. There's no cache at all. So, but then that's how data virtualization is being what if that is really sensitive and crucial data. So that's even a step further from where from the question that is being asked by Dr. Kudari. So basically, this is even more, which I can touch it further, and then please go online, maybe learn a bit on Denodo, so that's even more info and more what we call it insights on how data is being handled at a very much more crucial way. Okay, and thank you for the time. It has been almost like 2 hours, right, without the gap. And then just key takeaways of what we have went through today. AI transform data overload into decision clarity. So that's one of the rebuttal or the recap that I want to emphasize on my talk today. Human-centric design builds trust and adoption. If the leaders know that it's been built by human for human, the trust for the solution that is being provided will be more, because the trust doesn't come from the AI itself. It trust comes from human to human interaction. Start small, as I mentioned. Start small. Focus on high impact use cases, right? Use the low code, no code, or the low code. Not say cheap. What we call it, scalable AIs, instead of buying the all-in-one AI tool. Start small, grow big, and scale faster, right? And as again, technology amplifies humanity, and it never replace it. So with this, I thank you all. Thank you very much. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Salam warahmatullah. Okay, so thank you very much. Okay, Cik Helmi. Okay, so I think everybody agree that we have a very good session this morning with Encik Helmi. Okay, so Encik Helmi has opened up our mind. Okay, so many things about the AI, data analytic. Maybe we can call again in future, inshallah, Encik Helmi. Okay, for another topic. Okay, so before we end this morning session, just to remind that we have another good session this afternoon. Okay, we will start at 2:30. This afternoon, the speaker will be Muhammad Yazdi Cik Ya. Okay, the CEO of the Aero Sparkle. Okay, so inshallah, okay, we will have another interesting session this afternoon. Okay. Anything else? Okay, from the participant? Okay. So, Encik Helmi, thank you very much, Encik Helmi. Inshallah,
Welcome.
hopefully,
Welcome very much.
we can call you again, okay, in the future, inshallah. Okay, so
Inshallah.
thank you very much. Okay. Okay,
Okay, thank you
so
all.
yeah, I will stop, okay, the session here. Okay, thank you very much. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.